Do I ever plan on becoming a variety streamer? I mean, someday, I'm sure. I'm sure someday, but that time is not now. I mean, at some point, every streamer, if they want to keep streaming beyond the game that they're playing, has to move on, right? I feel like becoming a variety streamer is much more fun. Yes, but it's much more difficult. Think about it this way. How do you create a community around something? Think about that for like 2 seconds. What is easier to create a community around? And how are most communities formulated? There needs to be a centerpiece. What's the centerpiece? Well, in streaming, 99.9% of the time, most streamers start with a single game. Because it's much easier to formulate a community around a game than it is around you. Because people don't know you. They don't care about you. They don't give a fuck. They don't know who you are. Now, obviously, once you get to a certain level, that can become like, you become the center of the content. For example, like, all the 20k plus variety streamers, your XQCs, your Tims, etc. Like, you know, like, they could just play whatever, even though Tim does COD now, but like, for example, like, if Tim wanted to do variety, I'm sure he could still do it as well, you know? So, I mean, it is possible. And I think Super's doing a pretty good job of transitioning into variety right now. Even though Overwatch 2 is still doing well, like, he's definitely still transitioning, you can tell. Like, he's still doing like a 2, 3, 4 hour Overwatch stream, and then he's doing variety every day, so he's getting ready to jump. But, yeah, I mean, you know, like, it's at some point everyone has to do it if they want to keep going. Like, there's not many games out there you could stream for your whole lifetime, you know what I mean? But I'm not anywhere near that point, and I'm, you know, I got some years before I gotta think about that. Interesting you chose Tim over Soda. Well, the reason I chose Tim is just because Tim has done so many games at this point. You know, I'm honestly not that familiar. I know Soda does more variety, but Tim has transitioned many times to many different games, you know? I mean, at some point, yeah, I mean, some point everyone has to try it, you know? Like, you gotta spread your wings and fly, especially if at your time, you know, at the time, like, you're done with the game you're playing. Like let's say the day comes where my brain explodes and it can't take Overwatch anymore. You know, you gotta make the jump. Tim is the center of the X game made you? Yeah, exactly. That's kind of like what I was gonna get at. Oh, so he's like a hybrid variety streamer? True. I mean, there's a reason why Tim does that, and it's not because of his streaming, though. Like, you know why Tim does that, right? Tim does that because of his YouTube. Because as a streamer, you can get away with a lot more shit. But YouTube's a lot harder. YouTube's a lot harder to do that. You like Tim, that's why? I mean, I'm not saying they don't, but YouTube is way harder. And now, you can tell whenever Tim is testing the waters for another game. You want to know how Tim's testing the waters for another game? Look at his technically his 4th channel, the More Tim the Tatman. Look at that one whenever he's testing the waters for a new game. He's done it for Overwatch a few times, and he started putting it on main. He's been testing it every once in a while. But then Warzone 2 came out, so he leaned into Warzone 2. I can tell you, if he ever thinks about swapping to another game, like when he did with Apex, starts putting content out on that 2nd channel, or that, you know, 2nd gameplay channel. It's basically to put some feelers out. How does his YouTube feel about it without, 1, fucking up his algorithm, and 2, without fucking up the paycheck? It's very smart. It's actually very smart. What game would I stream? I don't have a game I'd stream if it wasn't Overwatch right now. I genuinely don't have anything that I'm more interested in. That's the truth.